Which mistake of Karsanbhai made Nirma's shine fade away? TV is running in the drawing room of an old house. It is the era of Doordarshan. The entire family is sitting together and suddenly a girl in a white frock comes twirling onto the screen. A voice echoes in the background, washing powder Nirma. Children also start singing along. The mother smiles and looking at the yellow packet kept in the house, it feels as if this is not just detergent but a part of the household's necessity. But go into that same market today. On the shelf is Ariel, there is Tide, there is Surf Excel, there is liquid detergent, there are machine wash formulas, and Nirma is seen standing somewhere far behind. The fear begins right from here. How did a brand that every household once recognized slowly slip off people's tongues? Did just competition push it behind, or was there some big mistake hidden inside the success itself? This story is not about some failed company. This is the story of that brand which changed India's detergent market but could not read the changing market just as quickly. The name behind Nirma was of Karsanbhai Patel. Coming from a simple background in Gujarat, Karsanbhai understood chemistry, did a job, and tried to make something in his free time that could solve the trouble of common households. In that era, detergent was like a luxury for many middle-class families. Budgets used to be tight in homes, clothes were washed by hand, and buying expensive powders was not easy for every family. Right here, Karsanbhai saw the biggest empty space in the market. He thought that if the powder that cleans clothes is cheap, reliable and fits into the common man's pocket, then this product can go into every home. In 1969, he started making detergent on a small scale. He used to sell it door to door. No big office, no heavy advertising budget, just hard work, trust and an eye that understood the customer's need. There was emotion behind the name Nirma too. It is linked with the name of his daughter Nirupama. Meaning, the beginning of the brand happened not just from a business calculation but also from a father's love and memory. At that time, big companies dominated the market. But Nirma started the fight with big companies, not with the claim of premium quality, but with an affordable price and a simple promise. Karsanbhai's biggest weapon was price. When expensive detergents were out of reach for a common family, Nirma gave the assurance of cleanliness at a low price. But this was not just a cheap product. This was a product of middle-class dignity. It made the woman of the house feel that good clothes could be cleaned even with less money. This was the reason why Nirma did not sell just from shops, it sold from people's conversations. It was used in one house, a neighbor asked, a relative saw, and slowly the brand kept spreading. Then came that advertising magic, which turned Nirma from a product into a cultural memory. Sabki Pasand Nirma was not just a tagline, it was a tune that entered the homes of India. There was no complicated science in that jingle. It had whiteness, it had trust, it had family, and it had such a rhythm that even a child could remember it and a mother could recognize it. Nirma created a new popular segment of detergent in India. It proved that to make a big brand you do not always need a rich consumer, you need the right problem and the right price. By the 90s decade, Nirma's name was so strong that many people used to call any washing powder Nirma itself. It is every brand's dream that a category is recognized by its name. But inside every success, there is a hidden risk. When a brand moves forward very fast, it feels that the very formula which brought it up will always work. This same challenge came with Nirma too. The very low-cost strategy that made it a market leader slowly began to become its limitation. India was changing. The consumer market was opening up after liberalization. People's income, aspirations and choices were changing. Now the customer wanted not just cheap, but better and modern too. The way of washing clothes also began to change. Along with washing by hand, washing machines started coming into homes. People started hearing new promises like fragrance, softness, fabric care and stain removal. Competitors in the market learned a lesson from Nirma. Big companies understood that India is not a market of only premium buyers. If the mass consumer is to be won over, both price and distribution have to be understood. 𝐮𝐸𝐿 made a grip on the lower market with mass brands like Wheel. P&G built a strong cleaning and modern image with Ariel and Tide. Surf Excel linked stains with emotion. Meaning, premium brands came from the top, regional brands came from the bottom, and Nirma's old value for money space in the middle began to get squeezed. Nirma's first big mistake appears right here, that it did not change its low-cost identity into new aspirations in time. It was cheap and good, but the market wanted to hear smart and modern. When a customer goes from poor to middle class, he does not always want to buy the cheapest product. Many times, he chooses a product that makes him feel like his life is upgrading. The very people whom Nirma taught to use detergent slowly started moving toward brands with better packaging, new formulas, and a premium feel later on. The brand's second challenge came in advertising. The old jingle was legendary, but just nostalgia was not enough for the new generation. In the old ads, there was a connection of home, whiteness, and family. But in the new times, the consumer also wanted a story of product performance, machine compatibility, and stain proofing. The company tried to look modern. Celebrity campaigns also came. But many observers believe that some ads could not make that much of an emotional connect with the old core audience. The ad featuring Hrithik Roshan is often remembered in this discussion. But the truth is that calling a single ad the reason for Nirma's entire decline would be very easy and incomplete. The real problem was not showing a man in the ad. Washing clothes is only a woman's job. This thinking should change too. The problem was that the new story of the brand could not connect deeply with the changing needs of the consumer. The third big challenge was of product innovation. The detergent market did not remain limited only to powder. Categories like liquid detergent, machine wash, front-load formulas, and fabric conditioners began to grow. Premium brands turned detergent into both science and lifestyle. They said that stains will be removed, colors will be saved, the machine will remain safe, fragrance will last, and children will play freely. Nirma's identity remained strong in the mass and economy segment, but it was not remembered as aggressively in high-aspiration communication. Packaging also became important in the changing market. The product that looks modern on the shelf, the customer many times considers it more reliable. Retail also changed. Earlier, the shopkeeper used to give recommendations in the kirana store. Now the product itself speaks to the customer on the supermarket shelf. In such a place, the brand has to be visible constantly. Just an old memory is not always enough to make a product get picked from the shelf. The fourth matter is of competition. Nirma had to compete not just with MNC brands but with regional players too. Many local brands started catching the mass market at low prices. This meant that Nirma's strongest weapon, meaning affordability, did not remain with it alone now. When competitors also started giving cheap options, creating a distinct identity became difficult. Premium brands took away aspiration from the top, local brands took away price from the bottom, and despite Nirma's memory being strong, the market share kept getting squeezed. The fifth matter is of diversification. The Nirma group stepped beyond detergent into soaps, salt, soda ash, chemicals, and many other businesses. From a business standpoint, this diversification was wise. Even today, the Nirma company is active and holds a strong presence in many sectors. But to keep the shine of a detergent brand alive in the consumer's mind, a different kind of focus was needed. When the company's focus gets divided into many big businesses, the voice of the flagship brand can become soft. One thing needs to be clearly understood here. Nirma has not ended. Nirma still makes products today, sells them, and exists as a company. What ended is that very top-of-mind magic of its, where a customer used to go to a shop and ask for Nirma first. Today, many choices have arrived in the place that was once everyone's choice. Now the consumer takes a decision after looking at price, fragrance, machine type, stain claim, brand image, and offers. This is the reality of the modern FMCG market. Being famous alone is not enough here. With every generation, one has to become relevant all over again. Nirma's story shows that the first mover advantage is not always permanent. You build the market, it does not mean that the market will always remain yours. If a competitor copies your strategy and adds innovation beyond it, your original strength can fall weak. Karsanbhai's biggest mistake was perhaps not a single decision. The real mistake was that after success, the brand did not evolve as fast as the Indian consumer evolved. Nirma gave affordable detergent to India. But later, India's consumers started demanding not just affordability but aspiration too. Here, a difficult question stood before the brand: should it leave its low-cost roots or stick to them? Perhaps the right path was between the two. While keeping its grip on the economy segment, it had to give a stronger identity to premium and modern variants. It had to make the customer feel that Nirma is not old but upgraded. Many brands make this mistake. They catch on to their old success story so much that they forget to write a new story. Nirma's old story was very powerful, but when times changed, it was necessary to retell that story according to new homes, new machines, and the new generation. Today's young audience might know the washing powder Nirma jingle, but while buying, they might consider Surf Excel, Ariel, or Tide to be more modern. This very gap is dangerous. The brand is remembered, but it is not the choice. And in business, a repeat purchase is more important than being remembered. If a brand has to survive on the shelf, it has to solve the customer's current problem. Old popularity gives only entry, not a guarantee of sale. There is an emotional irony in Nirma's story. The brand that gave poor and middle-class homes access to detergent, that same brand later could not completely catch the new language of the aspirational middle class. Even so, Karsanbhai Patel's achievement does not lessen. In India's FMCG history, he did the work that became a case study in big management schools. He proved that a local entrepreneur can also challenge multinational giants if he understands the actual pain of the customer. But the second part of his story is just as important. Winning the market is difficult, but staying in the market is even more difficult than that. Nostalgia is beautiful in business, but it cannot become a strategy. A jingle can be remembered, but sales come from innovation. Today, Nirma still has legacy. If a brand links its roots, affordability, and trust with modern packaging, new formulas, and fresh storytelling, a comeback is not impossible. The value for money market in India is very big, even today. The only difference is that today, along with a low price, the customer demands a better experience too. If Nirma catches its original spirit, understanding the necessity of common homes, once again in a modern way, the brand can come into discussion again. But this will happen only when the brand asks an honest question to itself: am I only in people's memory, or am I in their shopping basket too? This very question stands before every old brand. Whether it is a detergent, a soap, a biscuit, or a product of any category. Sometimes the company does not sink, its relevance sinks. And relevance sinks when the customer moves forward, but the brand remains standing only in its old victory. Nirma's story is necessary because this is not just a story of washing powder. This is the story of a dream that changed Indian business. A father made the memory of his daughter the name of a product. A chemist went house to house on a bicycle to sell detergent. A jingle made the entire country remember the brand. And then, that same brand went on to teach us that the most dangerous moment in the market is not failure, but comfort. Because when a brand feels that people will always love it, right then competition quietly starts reading the new needs of the customer. In the end, Nirma's story is not a sad ending, but a big lesson. The brand that changes with time goes from history into the future. And this is the real question. Can Nirma become everyone's choice again, or will it remain just the most beautiful jingle of our memories?
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.